what was the deciding factor?
The fact that it was Debbie, that Debbie's playing too many pots, that she's trying to take away too many pots, and Beverly's been watching her, waiting for a chance, and that was a big call the second pair, considering that if Beverly loses that hand, her chip stack is down in the 70s and 60s, you know, she's in difficulty.
I find playing all women quite unnerving after being used to playing mixed tables, but you soon get used to it. And actually one of the nicest things about it is when you're playing with people that you know, the banter gets really good, much better than with a mixed or a men's table. I feel much more nervous this year than I did last year. I think last year I had nothing to prove, I was just going to enjoy myself, and this year everyone's going to be looking at me because I won it last year. So actually I'm really quite nervous this year.
Coming up, if Steady wins the race, who will step up the pace? It'll take more than ribbons and white lace to win this heat.
My turn.
Now I feel a right prat.
Welcome back to Heat 3 of the Party Poker Women's World Open 2.
Enjoying yourself?
It's early days. This is not going to be one at level 1.
Exciting.
The girls have respect for each other. It's a kind of a passive, conservative table, which is great for an aggressive player. If somebody wants to get hold of this by the throat, well, Debbie tried, didn't she? Debbie Clark tried early on, and she got put back in a box by Beverly, so maybe they've all gone back in their boxes now.
Yeah, I was talking before about Debbie Rogers' infamous record. I mean, usually, not always, but usually this format, he takes between 80 and 90 hands, and Debbie Rogers got in a heads-up battle with Bronwyn Campbell last year that lasted 323 hands.
It's emblazoned on your heart, isn't it?
I swear, it's not. I've tried to forget it. I swear.
Get over it, Jesse. Come on, move on. It's a new year.
It was, you know, to be fair, it was not down to Debbie at all. I think there was 18 all-ins heads up that went to the way of the short stack. We figured out the odds later. It was in the tens to hundreds of thousands of wands.
Now you see, Alba's had another little stab at this pot that it appears nobody wants.
It's lovely stuff from Alba. Oh, and Beverly's in the tank here with ace high. It's actually good, but it would be a very marginal call.
It's interesting though, isn't it? You know, her instincts are good. She thought it was a bit smelly. She dwelt up and thought about it, and it was indeed smelly. And she'll put that in the computer now and think, this Alba's capable of stabbing at pots that she has nothing on.
I got some. We had sweeties last year. We want sweeties, Dina.
The first level's in the books, Norman. What's in it for you? I mean, Kasuchi on the bet frequency is trailing.
Yeah, she's trailing, but she's timing her bets well, and they reckon it's all about timing.
And on this table, it looks like those who have played too many hands have actually suffered.
You're really going to be drinking?
Blinds up to 2 and 4,000. Still six-handed, and everyone's still well in the thick of it.
Yeah, Eliza Burnett's down to 84,000, Deborah Rogers 86,000, but
you'd finished dealing,
you know, one decent hand and they're back up there.
Yeah, I feel that's a bit unfair for Eliza Burnett. I feel like she's played very well so far, but you know, Deck's a cruel mistress.
Just a flat call there. We've seen that at this table, if you do limp, if you're the first limper, then it's like a house of cards. Everybody stays in, and there's just the two of them there. It's blind on blind. Jack 4 against Queen 6, normal poker hands. We haven't seen big hand against big hand yet, Jesse.
You know, for me, if I'm playing, if Debbie Rogers is sitting next to you and you're getting a blind on blind for her, if she shows weakness, you think it's worth it to just kind of start firing a little bit?
I think so, and maybe the girls will, you know. I mean, it's early days yet. Now look at this. You've got an open-ended straight draw there with the 6 for Rogers and a 4 for Liza. If you were Liza, you'd be thinking, what's she representing there? She only limped in. Could she already have the straight 6-3? I don't know.
I think if you're Liza right now, you're hoping to check this down as quick as possible. And a nice card for Debbie Rogers on the river. The thing about playing with Debbie Rogers is she's got a very deceptive style in that she can also always induce other people to do her betting for her, can't she?
Yeah, she does. She seems to have that foreboding presence as well that makes you want to play back at her, and that's no bad thing at the poker table.
You pinged a queen, baby. You chewing gum, anybody? I got Nick
This is the current chip positions, and yes, surprisingly, India takes down her 1 pot, and she's 1,000 less than she started with.
Which is actually a very good place to be right now. And especially with the table image that she's got in the bank.
How long we got before a break then?
It just struck me then,
the way we're
if
playing.
we shut up, we can let Debbie Clark commentate on her own heat, you know.
All of a sudden I've become desperate.
This
We
is
need to go again.
the relationship at the table that interests me the most so far, is how the Debbie Clark Beverly pace train is going to end.
Okay, Mark.
And quick call from Beverly. She's way ahead here, and she's going to let Debbie do the leading.
Well, you know, Beverly genuinely plays her cards and her position. Now, she has position, she has the cards, but if the flop misses her and hits Debbie, just like that, I think she can get away from it.
Check.
Debbie playing trappy. Very trappy, in fact.
That's a scare card for anybody. I can't see any money going in the pot.
Beverly, you're not getting me, hon.
10.
Straight.
Cool.
Wow. Now that was a long call.
That was a very long call.
Let's worry about the 10.
I got involved with poker initially. I used to go for lunch every day in a cafe, and there was a game of Clukie going on upstairs, and my other half, I met him there. And he used to play poker around the table, big cash games. It was Omaha and 7-card stud then. That was about 8-9 years ago. And I used to go with him and sit behind and watch, and I noticed all these men ringing their other halves at 2 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, I've got involved, or lying about where they are, and I thought I'm going to end up a poker widow or a poker idiot, and I ended up the poker idiot. So I learnt how to play, and the easiest way to learn is to lose, and that was my first thing I did. But then I picked up with experience, and yeah, I've got a bit more patience now with the game.
Pass. Cool. Pass.
And it's pots like this
Pass.
that this would be the one thing I think Eliza could just tweak a little bit to her game. You know, right here. I mean, she's got a great image. If she raises this, it's Overville. Of course.
The other thing to do is hit trips on the flop.
and get the other player betting into you. I'll just sit and reflect.
10.
You gotta get that crystal ball out, Jesse.
We should all just appreciate Eliza Burnett's play right now.
Cool.
No, I mean she's
Cool.
gonna. And it's great. She is going to. She's going to maximize this to the hilt.
Yes, she is. Oh, look at that. They both got a full house, but Alba's got the wrong end of it. She must think she's way ahead.
15.
Oh, this is horrible for Alba. She is going to be very unlucky here. And Eliza's just set this up perfectly. As soon as I get the sock out of my mouth, I think Eliza's going to have Alba's entire stack.
Yeah.
Can she find a check here?
The only thing she can put her on apart from a 7 is a pair that's bigger than a 7, 8s, 9s. Although she limped. How can you put her on a big pair? Well,